It's a strange thought, isn't it? How can you have 1,000 years of perfect peace, only for it to end in a massive, catastrophic war? It just feels like a complete contradiction. Well, today we're going to dive right into the theological reasoning behind that exact question. I mean, just try to picture it. A whole millennium with no deception, ruled in perfect peace. It's hard to even wrap your head around. And yet, at the very end of this incredible era, a huge global rebellion just explodes onto the scene. So how does that happen? And more importantly, why? That's the puzzle we're going to piece together today. To really get to the bottom of this, we first need to get a clear picture of what the world is like during this amazing period, and then what flips at the very end to set the stage for such a massive conflict. So for 1,000 years, the world is, well, it's basically paradise. Satan is locked away, totally unable to deceive anyone. The curse on nature itself is lifted. People are living in total peace and safety for generation after generation under the direct rule of Christ. You know, it's said that the knowledge of God fills the earth like water fills the seas. But here's the catch. This perfect world is a kind of protected environment, and it's not meant to last forever. At the end of the 1,000 years, that protection gets lifted, just for a short time. Satan is released, and that single act sets a critical event in motion that's going to force everyone to make one final choice. Okay, so that brings us back to the big question. Why? Why does this era of peace have to end with a war? Well, the way this is framed, it isn't some horrible tragedy. It's actually a necessary and even just final test. And this quote right here, this gets to the very heart of it. For 1,000 years, you've got generations of people born into a world without any real temptation. Sure, they obeyed the laws, but was it real? Was it a genuine choice? With no challenges, the hidden desires of their hearts were never exposed. Their faith was, in a way, just theoretical. It had never been proven. So the logic here kind of unfolds in 3 steps. First, you've got this situation, generations born into a perfect world. That creates the problem. Their faith is totally untested. And that leads to the purpose of this whole final conflict to provide that test, to demonstrate the reality of their faith or the lack of it for everyone to see. And this is a really key point. This test isn't just for humanity's sake. It's a public demonstration for all of creation, including the angels. Since no created being can see what's truly in a person's heart, they have to witness their actions. This visible, public choice is what confirms that God's final judgment is completely fair and just in the eyes of all. So, how does this verification actually happen? It all kicks off with the release of Satan, which sparks this enormous rebellion that the texts refer to by the symbolic names Gog and Magog. The moment Satan is back on the scene, his deception is, well, it's wildly successful. He gathers this massive army, and the book of Revelation describes its numbers as being like the sand of the sea. Just an unbelievable amount of people. And this prophecy, man, it just captures the heartbreak of it all. These people had lived their entire lives in perfect safety, in unwalled villages, without any fear. And yet, the moment they're given the chance, those hidden desires are stirred up, and they choose to attack God's people. So this is it. This is the moment of truth. It all comes down to one choice. Are they going to stay loyal to the king they've known their whole lives, or are they going to give in to their own selfish desires, now fanned into a flame by Satan? In that moment, their true allegiance becomes visible to everyone through their actions. The choice is made, the attack begins, and the result? It's swift, it's absolute, and it is final. The rebellion is crushed almost before it even starts. There's no long, drawn-out war. Fire just comes down from heaven and devours the rebels. Now, it's important to remember, this is a physical death. That's just setting the stage for the final spiritual judgment to come. And that leads to the finality of it all. After the rebellion is squashed, its mastermind, Satan, is finally sentenced. He's thrown into what's called the lake of fire, which is defined as the second death, the absolute, eternal, final destination for all evil. So if we break it down, you've got 3 main groups here, and 3 totally different endings. You have Satan, who deceives the nations, and he's thrown into the lake of fire forever. You have the rebels, Gog and Magog, who are consumed by fire, but then resurrected for one last judgment before they too are sent to the lake of fire. And then you have the saints, those whose faith held true, and they go on to inherit a brand new, perfect creation. Okay, so what is the ultimate point of all this drama, all this conflict? It's not seen as some unexpected disaster. It's actually presented as the necessary final step, the completion of creation itself. You can really see it as this deliberate four-part plan to just wipe sin off the map for good. It started at the cross, where sin was paid for. Then the abyss temporarily contained the source of all that deception. Then you have the final test, which we've been talking about, that reveals and judges all the sin that was left hiding in people's hearts. And finally, the lake of fire permanently removes the source of sin from creation forever. So at the end of the day, here's the big takeaway. This final, terrible war is presented as the very thing that makes eternal, unshakable peace even possible. It's that final public verification that ensures sin can never, ever threaten creation again. And that leaves us with this one last thing to think about. When all the evil has been judged and all faith has been proven true, what's left for eternity? It's a question that really shifts our focus away from the end of judgment and toward the beginning of a truly new and truly perfect creation.